I'm so happy to be here. I'm just so excited about my newfound life. Within the last year or so, things have been happening that I never thought would happen in a dream world. So I have a couple of questions here.
Do you acknowledge that you did let go of that doubt before they happened? When you say, Esther will say every now and again, this is unbelievable, and then she laughs and says, it clearly can't be unbelievable or it couldn't have been happening. And so when you're talking about your former belief could not contain the things that you are now experiencing. But it's really worth saying, but my current belief can.
Yes, that's exactly what I want to say. I want to say that I tested, I wouldn't say test, but I've tried a lot of different things. But the little things that I ask for, that I want, it happens all the time. But
because your expectation about the little things is in a less resistant place, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, it's so simple. But I don't know if I should categorize it as big and little. But other things I want...
We wouldn't. Because when you categorize something as big, it usually means I expect this to be more trouble.
Okay. All right.
You could categorize it, it's big, meaning I'm going to love it more when it comes.
Yes.
But usually when people say it's big or small, they mean hard and easy.
Yeah.
And when you say, well, it's as easy to create a castle as a button, all you have to do is want either one of them and not think thoughts of opposition. Buttons are easier to expect, aren't they?
Yes.
They seem to be more prevalent, but it's exactly the same thing. Focus without resistance, and it must be.
Well, like I said, in the little things, I've been trying to concentrate and I've been trying to focus. And I have been. I asked for something about a year ago, and I see signs of it. The universe, I see people mentioning it.
Here's the thing. When you are in doubt, even though it's already been assembled, you're not a cooperative component, so you don't get a glimpse of it. When you start being hopeful, now you're close enough to the vicinity of it that every now and again the vortex takes you in and you see a glimpse. And if you have enough of that hopefulness, pretty soon you start believing, and then it just shows up in your experience.
Yes.
So it's a vibrational difference that you're reaching for.
Oh, what about sometimes I feel good all the time, and I feel so excited sometimes, and then I sometimes I have to think about things to drag myself. I wouldn't say drag myself, but the high is not there all the time. I like that high all the time.
Well, here we're going to describe to you what that high is, and we're going to help you to feel more satisfaction while you're in this vortex. So this is how it happens. So the contrast has helped you to put a whole lot in your vibrational escrow. Some of it you have allowed to manifest, and some of it you haven't yet. But it's there, and it's percolating, and law of attraction has assembled it. And now you are making the effort to become a vibrational match to it so that you can live the full manifestation of it. Mm-hmm. So when you are in the vicinity, as we said, of hope, and the vortex takes you in, when you first get into the vortex from having been out of the vortex, there is... in other words, these degrees of emotion are, to start in another place. Someone said to us recently, Abraham, you used to talk about the stream, and I really liked the stream analogy because I could feel that I was moving in the direction of it, or I could feel resistance. I liked the idea of the stream calling me toward who I've become. And we said, the reason that we've begun talking about the vortex is because this vortex that is spinning with all cooperative components, there is a distinct enough energy rush when you are outside and moving inside. That's that elation that you're describing. Mm-hmm. If you want to know where the edge of this vortex is on the emotional scale, it resides between hope and belief. It's right there between hope and belief. So if you let yourself get to hope, it will take you in. And then you will have enough experiences that belief will be a common vibration within you, and then it has to manifest when you chronically hold that. So here's the picture that we want you to hold. So you want it, but you don't believe it, and it feels uncomfortable. And you want it, and you don't believe it, and it feels uncomfortable. And you want it, and you don't believe it, and it feels uncomfortable. But you're tired of feeling uncomfortable, so you start moving your thoughts toward thoughts that feel better, and now you find yourself in hopeful, sort of like what we were doing with the focus wheel earlier today. And now the vortex takes you in, and when you first make your way into that fast-moving vortex, now remember, we were talking about buzzing ears, and we were ringing in the ears, and we're talking about getting up to speed. When you feel negative emotion, it's like a cork that's being held under the water. When you let go of the cork, when you stop doing that thing you do that holds it down, your cork rises quickly. And as you move into that faster moving energy, it's exhilarating. That's what a feeling of passion is. That's what that feeling of being enlivened, that's what enthusiasm is. It's that rush. It is a literal rush of moving quickly with the stream or into the vortex. Now, once you move in, and you move, let's say you move in, but then your thought causes the vortex to spit you out. But then you get hopeful again, and you move in, but then you think a lackful thought, and the vortex spits you out. But then you move in, and you do some focus wheels, and you do some lists of positive aspects, and you get on a rampage of appreciation. You milk it for everything you've got, and you establish yourself firmly inside the vortex. And it feels so good to be in the vortex.
Yes.
I love being in the vortex. It's so exciting to be in the vortex. But then after a while, you get used to being in the vortex because you get up to speed with the vortex. You acclimate, you move your thoughts in the same direction as the thoughts in the vortex, and now the vortex begins to feel like satisfaction and contentment, not like that feeling of rush. But don't worry, because there is still contrast that is causing you to expand. In other words, your vortex will constantly keep moving for the purpose of, well, it keeps moving because you keep having contrast that keeps causing it to expand, and because we are all eternal beings and we cannot cease to become more. It keeps moving for that reason. But the benefit to you is that you keep getting the experience of that rush and coming into alignment, and that rush and coming into alignment. So when you say, I want to stay on that high, we say, no, you don't. You say, no, I really do. I want to stay on that high. We say, no, you don't. What you want is to feel the high and then feel the satisfaction of bringing yourself completely up to speed with it. And then you want to feel the launching of a rocket, and then you want to feel the vortex spit you out, and then you want to feel the satisfaction of getting back in, and then you want to feel the hopefulness, and then you want to feel the rush of getting up to speed with it, and then you want to feel the satisfaction of coming into alignment with that newfound who you are. And then you want to find a new thought, and you want the vortex to spit you out, and then you want to find your way back into the vortex, and then you want to feel the rush of getting back into the vortex, and then you want to feel the alignment and the satisfaction and the contentment of getting up to speed, and then you want the vortex to spit you out. And that's what you want. That is what you want. That is really what you want. Because the creative process is 3 steps. Step 1 says ask, and you do your best asking from outside the vortex. You really do. And now you're getting the sense of, when we say outside the vortex, we're just talking about just outside. In other words, if the vortex is going to keep moving, then you're going to find yourself outside of it occasionally. But isn't the fun getting back in? Isn't the exhilaration getting back up to speed with who you are? Life is causing you to constantly expand, and the thrill of life is getting up to speed with the expansion.
Yes.
And that's why you came.
Yes.
When you go on vacation, we promise you, not one of you says, oh, I'm home, and I'm going to go here and here and here and here and here and here and here, and then I'm going to come back home. Oh, wait. Home is my final destination. And I'm already home. Why go? I think I'll just check vacation off my list. And we say, you don't go on the vacation to get it done. You go for the fun. You go for the opportunity. You go for the stimulation of thought. You go for the adventure. You go for the new exposure to contrast and life. You go for the new opportunity for expansion. That's why you go on vacation, and that's why you came here too.
Yes. I have a couple other questions. First of all, I want to help people, like I see people like the way I used to be, and I wanted help a long time ago, and I finally got it. But I would like to be in a position to help and be able to talk to people and point them in some kind of positive direction.
Well, a wonderful thing to acknowledge is that law of attraction. First, do you accept that there is a non-physical you in this vortex of creation calling you constantly forward?
Yes.
And you acknowledge that they, each and every one of them, have that too?
Yes.
So you get it that even before you were hearing it, that your source was calling you. And you get it, therefore, that even though they're not hearing it, that their source is calling them.
Yes.
So what happens to a lot of people is they want to teach, and they're so full of themselves once they get into the vortex. And then they see someone not living a happy life, and in focusing on their problems, you come out of the vortex. But then you don't have anything to give them. And if you do enough of that, you'll resent them. Pretty soon you're saying, hey, I gave you the list. Why aren't you doing it? You just do what I tell you.
Yeah.
You're not even trying. You haven't done one single focus wheel.
Yes, you're right about that.
So the key to really being a powerful teacher is to stay in your vortex no matter what. Stay in your vortex no matter what. So let's say that you're watching them and they're living their contrast, and you know they're launching rockets of desire, but you can't hold them as your object of attention without putting an improved version of them in your vortex. In other words, they're part of your life, so you include them in the new and improved version of your life experience. You are the creator of your reality, and you put a part of them in your reality, the new and improved part. So you have a new and improved part of them in your vortex of creation. But then when you look back at where they are, you come out of the vortex, because you can't see them where they are and see who they have really become at the same time. So it's an interesting thing that happens to so many people. This rascal caused you to expand, but then looking at them keeps you from taking your expansion, so you're extra mad at them. So as a teacher, what you're wanting to do is get in your vortex, especially when you're holding someone that you want to help as your object of attention. You've just got to expect the best for them. You've got to expect them to have an improved life. But something that really helps is to say to yourself regularly, Law of Attraction knows who's ready for me and who's ready for some other teacher, because there are a lot of teachers that are all along this emotional trail. And Law of Attraction is going to bring them to the one that they're next ready for, and the one that they're next ready for. So say to yourself, I'm not the teacher for everyone. I am who I am, and Law of Attraction will bring those to me who are ready for me here and now. And as you hold yourself in that thought process, what happens is Law of Attraction brings them to you, and you recognize them, and they're open when they come. You hear they're asking, and because you're in the vortex, you know exactly what to say. You know exactly what to say. Nothing is more annoying than to be out of the vortex and have some frisky person in the vortex say to you, you know you create your own reality. They want to say, that can't be true or you'd be dead. And they really feel uncomfortable when you come out of the vortex to help them, and then you're so invested in them because a sort of self-survival thing begins to happen to you. When you come out of the vortex and you associate someone that you're interacting with as the reason that you're out of the vortex, this is not the good basis of a teaching relationship, you see. So just get in the vortex and then do anything that you have time for, and trust that Law of Attraction will bring the perfect clients, the perfect students, the perfect everyone to you. Law of Attraction will assemble the cooperative components, and then the relationships are so delicious.
I got one more question. I would like to
get right into that.
I would like to know if I can. I like to meet my spiritual teacher, a spiritual guide,
well, this is what we're talking about, and you do often. In other words, you just got to get in that vortex and be there as you often are. Be there regularly enough. You see, who you're really meeting is you. But who you are, in other words, it's the non-physical source energy part of you. But who you are is so much more than just your singular inner being. There's a collective consciousness, an infinite intelligence, even that which you could call God. That you are merging with, you see. And so the name will occur to you once you're in there steadily. In other words, you're often there, but the feeling that I have not yet met this, or that I don't yet know the name, is an outside the vortex conversation, isn't it? Because when you're in there, first of all, when you're in there, it doesn't matter. When you're in there, you are it. When you're in there, you feel the fullness of it flowing through you. It's what our friend was talking about earlier.
Yes.
You feel the fullness of it flowing through you. And the word doesn't matter. The name doesn't matter. People will say, Abraham, am I receiving you? And we say, first of all, all of you have your own inner being, and your inner being is swirling with the cooperative components of that which you are about. And so don't try to mimic it after anything else. Let it be the unique thing that you have carved out of this life experience.
Yes.